What's that? Too easy, you say? Alright, well let's go and step it up one more time and we'll try something a little bit harder. Let's check it out.
Alright, so let's read this question as we always would. If f of x is equal to 3x minus 1 squared and you subtract 4x plus 2 multiplied by 3 minus 2x, we need to first of all evaluate f of negative 2, b expand and simplify, and c use the result in part b to confirm your answer in part a. Alright, so let's first of all evaluate f of negative 2. Now to do that, let's rewrite out the equation of the function. So you've got f of x is equal to 3x minus 1 squared minus 4x plus 2, 3 minus 2x. Right, that's the function written out. Now it's actually asking us to evaluate f of negative 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to write f of, instead of writing the x, I'm now writing negative 2. Now because I've written negative 2 instead of x, for this one here, what I'm actually going to do is everywhere I see an x, I'm actually going to write negative 2. So let's substitute in x equals negative 2 now, so you get 3, and I'll just do it in a different colour just so it stands out. Negative 2 for the x, minus 1 squared minus 4, bracket negative 2 again instead of the x, plus 2, close bracket, next one open, 3 minus 2, once again the negative 2 instead of the x, and close the bracket to finish off. Alright, now what we need to just do is go through and simplify this. So you get f of negative 2 is equal to 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 minus 1 squared minus bracket 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 plus 2, 3 minus 2 times negative 2, so it's going to be 3 plus 4 because negative 2 times 2 is 4. Alright, let's go through and simplify that a little bit further now. So you get negative 6 minus 1 is negative 7 squared minus negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6 multiplied by 3 plus 4 is 7. Alright, let's go through and simplify that again further. Negative 7 squared gets us 49 because negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49. And you get negative 7 times 6 is negative 42. So you get negative 42 in these brackets here and the minus in between. Once again you get 49 minus negative 42. Alright, that's going to actually turn out to be plus 42, which of course will then get us an answer of 91. Now it says expand and simplify, so what you're going to do is we're just going to write out f of x again. So you go f of x is equal to 3x minus 1 squared minus 4x plus 2, 3 minus 2x. Right, I'm actually going to rewrite that out in a different way slightly. So you get this is equal to 3x minus 1 bracket 3x minus 1. I've just rewritten out this bracket that's being squared twice. Minus 4x plus 2, 3 minus 2x. Alright, so expanding these brackets now, you're going to get 3x times 3x gets us 9x squared. 3x times negative 1 gets us negative 3x. Negative 1 times 3x gets us negative 3x. Negative 1 times negative 1 gets us positive 1. Minus, write this in brackets now because we've got the minus out the front, so you're going to get 4x times 3 is 12x. 4x times negative 2x is negative 8x squared. 2 times 3 is 6, positive 6. And 2 times negative 2x is negative 4x. Close the brackets again. So now let's expand these brackets by applying the negative to each one of the terms inside. So you get 9x squared minus 3x plus 1, and the minus applying to each one of these gets us negative 12x. Negative times negative 8x squared gets us positive 8x squared. Negative times 6 gets us negative 6. And negative times negative 4x gets us positive 4x. Alright, let's go through and collect like terms now. So the x squareds, first of all, you get 9x squared here and 8x squared here gets us 17x squared. We've got negative 3x and negative 3x is negative 6x. Minus 12x is negative 18x. Plus 4x is negative 14x. And finally you get positive 1 and negative 6 gets us negative 5. So there you have it. We've got f of x is equal to 17x squared minus 14x minus 5. The last part of the question says use the result in B to confirm your answer in A. Alright, so what that means is just get what we know that f of x is equal to when we expand, so that's 17x squared minus 14x minus 5. And what we want to do is just substitute in f of negative 2, so that is f of, instead of writing x, I write negative 2 with a different colour just to make it stand out a little bit more, is equal to 17 bracket, instead of writing the x, I write negative 2 again, square it, minus 14, negative 2, minus 5. That gets us 17 times negative 2 squared is positive 4, because negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Negative 14 times negative 2 is positive 28, minus 5. 17 times 4 gets us 68, plus 28, minus 5. 68 plus 28 will get us 96, minus 5, and 96 minus 5 of course is 91. As you can see here between these two answers, what we actually have is the same answer, and that is because it doesn't matter whether you expand it or whether you leave it as what we originally had. You actually, whenever you substitute negative 2, it's going to be the same height because it's actually the same function. And once again, it's that time of lesson where you press pause and attempt the following question. Remember, when you're done, press play and check your answers out against mine. Right, so the question says if g of m is equal to 5m minus 2 squared plus 3m minus 1 times 2m plus 6, A, evaluate g of 1, B, expand and simplify, and C, use the result in part B to confirm your answer in part A. Exactly the same type of question as before, but now we're using the function g in terms of m. Now when we have a different function, it won't actually affect how you go about working it out. All you've got is just different letters, so you just treat it like it would be an f of x or a p of x. Okay, so the first question says evaluate g of 1. So we've got g of m as the function, that is g of m is equal to 5m minus 2 squared plus 3m minus 1 times 2m plus 6. And of course, instead of writing m, I've actually got 1 in the brackets here. So instead of writing m, I write 1, and everywhere you see an m, you actually need to write 1 in brackets. So you can see here I've got my m, and I've written 1. Instead of writing my m here, I've written 1 in brackets. Same again here and here. Right, so all you're doing is substituting in 1 for m. Going through and simplifying now, 5 times 1 of course is 5, minus 2. 3 times 1 of course is 3, minus 1. 2 times 1 of course is 2, plus 6. 5 minus 2 is 3, squared. Bring the squared down here, that is. 3 minus 1 of course is 2, and 2 plus 6 is 8. Next thing you've got is 3 squared becomes 9, and 2 times 8 becomes 16. Of course 9 plus 16 is 25, so g of 1 is equal to 25. So what that actually means is you've got your m coordinate, or what you'd normally call your x coordinate of 1, and your y coordinate, or your g of x coordinate in this case, of 25. So this here is your m coordinate, and this would be your g of x coordinate, or your y. Right, the next question says expand and simplify, so I've just once again rewritten out the whole function that you can see at the top, and then I've gone through and instead of writing 5m minus 2 squared, I've just rewritten the brackets out twice. Going through and expanding now, you get 5m times 5m is 25m squared. 5m times negative 2 is negative 10m. Negative 2 times 5m is negative 10m once again. And negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. 3m times 2m becomes 6m squared. Note that I've put it in brackets because if it was a minus, you might actually get a different answer. So always write the second bit of working out in brackets just in case. Then I've got 3m times 6 gets us 18m. Negative 1 times 2m is negative 2m, and negative 1 times 6 of course is negative 6. It's going through now and expanding the brackets, taking the positive to each one of these terms inside the brackets, and that's not actually going to change anything, so you just have the same thing that you would have but without the brackets. So you get 25m squared minus 10m plus 4 plus 6m squared plus 18m minus 2m minus 6. Let's go through now and collect like terms. So you've got 25m squared plus 6m squared gets us 31m squared. Negative 10m minus 10m gets us negative 20m. Plus 18m gets us negative 2m. Minus 2m gets us negative 4m. And of course, positive 4 minus 6 gets us negative 2. So we know g of m is equal to 31m squared minus 4m minus 2. Part C once again says use your result in part B to confirm your answer in part A. So I've now used the formula that you can see here, g of m, that I've gone through and expanded and simplified and just written it up here. Now what I'm doing is I'm substituting in g of 1, so everywhere that you see an m you write a 1, so you can see that here, here, and here. And remember, whenever you substitute in, make sure you write things in brackets. So that gets us 31 bracket 1 squared minus 4 times 1 minus 2. Now 1 squared is 1, so that gets 31 times 1 in brackets. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, and negative 2 just left on the end. 31 times 1, of course, is 31, minus 4, minus 2. And when we do that, we get 31 minus 4 is 27, minus 2 again is 25. And once again, as you can see here, that our answers from part A and part C are actually the same because they're actually the same function. This one here has just been written where it's been factorized, and this one here is in the expanded form.
What are you doing, Jerry?
Hey Tom, I'm just expanding this quadratic expression.
That's not what I meant by expanding quadratic expressions. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning into today's lesson, which was all about expanding quadratic expressions. Not the way that Jerry's just shown you, but one of the two methods, that is the FOIL method or the smiley face method that I've explained throughout the lesson. Now make sure you stay tuned for the very next lesson because that's all about working backwards and learning how to factorize these expressions. So like always, say hi to your maths teacher for me. Aussie out.